Hello everybody, and of course welcome back to Dickie's Videos where no war game remains unplayed. Further ado, here we are with another battle analytical fun frantic game. So here we go. This is the round 2 of the King of the Hill tournament, brought to you by the Wargaming Gentleman. And this is my unfortunately this is a massive video, and for me to sit here all the way through it would be killer. So I'm going to find a couple of key points in this battle that we can discuss. So this is of course round 2. This is my Viking versus Polish Steve, I think it is. They're my opponent. I do apologise if it's not. This is me giving you a roundup and a kind of overall look what happened in this battle. Of course, as you know, if you've watched the previous video, I did win this round, not without cost. We'll have a look at initial setup. As this video is 51 minutes, could you really put up with me talking 51 minutes? I can't put up with myself for 51 minutes. So we're going to look at a couple of key points between the battle in certain minutes. And we're going to discuss decisions, and then we're going to look at the back end of the battle and my kind of synopsis of it all. So as you can see, Vikings against Polish. Poles, of course, good cavalry, good infantry. The cavalry is always a concern. As you can see, my forces at the moment in time, we took all the cavalry we could. We've got an even balance of offensive spearmen, and house scows. My main plan was to screen my cavalry, and then of course my cavalry will eject at certain points across the battlefield to defend against, of course, the onslaught. Let me repeat that. Onslaught of Polish lancers, which are a pain de gras. Unfortunately, I'm always going to be outnumbered with cavalry on this, regardless of what I do. I can't take as many, and I can't remember. He just has a ridiculous amount of cavalry. And of course, my infantry to back them up. I've taken no lights, which I did slightly actually, what's the word? I should have took more cavalry, infantry, light. Sorry. Okay, so that's 2 minutes. We're gonna have a look, and as you can see, I've got my berserkers. Berserkers are brilliant. I love the unit, and it's a solid little unit. If you defend it well and it attacks at the same point, we're in a good point. We're gonna quickly see what he's deployed as. There we go. Formidable is the F word I'd like to use there. I am completely outmaneuvered here already. We've not even started. As you can see, we've got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cavalry units on the right flank. That outnumbers me already. And then, of course, the left flank, which I'm bloody worried about. Of course, then the medium, the foot in the left side, and then he's got stuff in this bloody wood every bloody time in the woods. So I'm outnumbered on the right, outnumbered on the left, cavalry galore. Yeah, I wasn't really figured my chances. I think it was a close game, and I think unfortunately my infantry, as he said, is slightly better than his. As you can see, he's only got a couple of units of dismounted lancers, which can count 3 of them, of course, with 1 general or is CNC or a sub-general, but the rest are offensive or defensive spearmen, but potato, what you want to call it, or tomato, whatever you call it. So yeah, a good, interesting first setup. So we are going to skip to the 15-minute mark. I think I've timed that right. And this is where we There we go, it was 14, sorry. So as you can see, this was the part, I'm just going to click play and I'll talk about it. So this is the point where he decided to rush left with the cavalry, rush right with the cavalry, and I tilted my line on an axis, on a pivot, and I straightened the line off. But then I decided on the left side to, of course, charge down some heavies on the left side. But still outnumbered, as you can see, the light troops on the left have shown themselves. I tried to do some anti-light cavalry tactics on the centre line, but it was, I don't know, it was a hard one. That cavalry on the right side always worried me, and it was the field that is, as you can see, I did back off here for a reason, and the fact is he did pretty well in pushing my line. If this was a more rough terrain battle with a lot more hills, I think it would have been a lot different, of course, with more spaced out to more intervening terrain. It would have been harder for his cavalry to manoeuvre. But unfortunately, as it being an open battle with only that one bit of rough terrain on the left, gives him a slight advantage. But there's nothing else we can do there. But yeah, I think going pretty well so far. Still interesting, but it's now all trying to think, and I think I come to a point where I have to start to engage him because of this. So this is where the battle is right now. I'll just stop that. We'll stop at the end of this turn. So as you can see, I think on the right side he charges in. Where is it? He's charged in last turn, sorry. And he got a disruption on a unit of offensive spearmen. And we're starting to real clog up this right, and this is where the battle was going to begin. And then you can see there, I'm panicking here. His cavalry is coming through to really, really hurt me here. Still not happy at all. Very scared. So we're going to skip to the 25-minute mark. I think there was a good interesting time. There we go. That's the one at 24:45. So as you can see, the cavalry is pulled round the side. A main line is engaged, which I'm happy with because my Huscarls now can start using their point value and also blocking tactics against his cavalry. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you are fighting a cavalry faction, the POA advantage you're charging is pretty bad. And there we go. He got some pretty good flanks with the cavalry on this right side. I do apologise. If you want to watch the full video, it is in this playlist. But I'm giving a slight overview because 51 minutes is way too much. And as you can see, we're backing and forthing with me trying to ping down his cavalry. And I think I did some pretty good charges. But of course, which he did well at doing, there's a proportion of my army on this left side that is now being baited away. And this is purely a cavalry army tactic, is to bait valuable units. It's quite expensive units there, especially with a sub-general in there. But I think on one hand, it does kind of give me a slight advantage that I can just start chucking them through. And this is where I go, you know what? We got to charge in. We got to make use of these points. But his cavalry is always threatening my flank, so this is always a point of mine. And we just go bashing the crap out of each other. This is literally a bloody battle here. And I can only give kudos to my opponent. That the fact is, he just outmaneuvered me, cavalry galore. And to be honest, that's the way it is. He's got a cavalry army. He's going to use the bonuses. Like with my bonuses of my infantry is slightly better. I think the heavy weapons really hammering home the advantage against his defensive spearmen. And that battle line is absolutely fantastic because it's just smashing away. As you can see, we're even pegging level here at the 11 turn mark, 13 left. But his cavalry still baiting me away, and that was annoying. But in respect for that, baiting my units away means eventually when they do come back to the main battle line, they of course are a lot stronger, and then they're not lost a lot of their strength. But he is harassing me. A lot of good fallbacks here, which I did. Like I said, fall back in trying to stop him flanking here on my main line because his cavalry could easily pull round here, but still afraid that his infantry has got a couple of units which are better, but overall we're not too bad. And there we go again. See, unfortunately, like I said, Linda, looking for a whole 50-minute video is a mighty task, and I would get bored and you would get bored, so I'm trying to pick off different points. And what anything interesting? So our lines have really pivoted. So if you look at where we started on the battlefield, we've gone completely to that direction on the right side. But the cavalry still threatening that top part of my map, which I'm still scared of. What we're going to do, we're going to switch to the 30-minute one mark and see where we are. So as you can see, some of his battle line is of course starting to degrade. The problem is the Huscarls, my offensive are just doing a little bit better than his spearmen are. He doesn't have any meaningful, but the berserkers unfortunately are there for impact, and I find in this battle they spend a little bit too long actually in battle. We did get a good impact on that unit on the north sector there, but it's just trying not to get outflanked here, but it's working and not working at the same time. He's always keeping me honest with cavalry sat looking at my line, which could always be an issue, but we've noticed here we've started to push back a lot of his units here, but this game gets a lot messier, and I find a lot of these games so far are very evenly balanced. Like, I'll get a loss, he'll get a loss, I'll get a loss, but no like toppling effect is that the word is of the flanks. It's because we are, when I find the army list get later and later in the Wolves at the Gate DLC. Oh, good disruption there. I love that. And then we just take the thing. But we're outnumbered here. I think this is what one of my concern was. But I think we are just slightly stronger. But like I said, him baiting away these two units, given me a whole fresh 2 units to come back with in the end. And I'm hoping for a break here, because the Berserkers with the CNC, they're good, but they're not fantastically too solid against the normal troops, and outnumbered again. We go for the flank here. I don't know why I did this. I think I was feeling I was going to hopefully drop them, and we got lucky here by a double bubble drop, and that wasn't just an offensive spit. Defensive spit was the dismounted lancers. And there we go, trying to trap his cavalry in, but of course my cavalry charging all the way down to the left, and of course their control zone taken up by the Bacon. As you can see, a lot of my units just sit there blocking his cavalry, because that is all I want to do. There's no reason to literally try and chase them down. Chase them down there? That was interesting. I don't know why I did that, but I think that was because they're not lancers, they are armoured cavalry. No, they're all armoured cavalry. We've got a rear attack there. I thought there was some lancers. I thought they were Polish lancers. No, they're all armoured cavalry. Oh, I think I have a different list. Well, regardless of that, the same POA advisement there. He's just got more cavalry to defend. And there you go. I do the zone of control blocking again. Okay, we'll skip slightly ahead to the 40 mark. Let's see where we are here. So as you can see, we did start to pull ahead here, mainly because of the infantry fight, but his cavalry is all over the place here. All over the place, and we're getting desperate here. We're getting desperate with the points. As you can see, a lot of my units have destroyed his units on the centre, are now just turning around to face against the cavalry. But that cavalry advantage still gave me the bejesus all the time. My points are mostly in the Housecarl units, due to the fact is they are the most costly unit out of all of them. There we go. That was a good 8% there, actually. And it's a case of now, where do I field against what's broken? The Berserkers broke there due to just getting hacked to bits. Unfortunately, that's what happened. But, of course, me trying to keep his cavalry in check on the left and right side. You see, I was debating what to charge in to try and get a flank on them here. But, oh, they just hurt. That pushback, mighty annoying. So a brutal like I keep repeating, the cavalry battle here was huge, absolutely huge. You see, but also be careful, and this is a tactic. Remember, armoured cavalry will evade, so you've got to be careful where that unit will be facing at end of that evade. Sometimes just zona controlling the cavalry out is enough. Because if you charge it, I've had it before where if you charge it, you will turn it around. It will be out of your control zone and also be available to actually charge and be free manoeuvring. So be careful of that. So we're going to skip probably to a couple minutes before and have a look at the field as it lies there. So as you can see, I think this is the overall picture. God, I can't even look at our thing. There you go. Overall picture of the battle there. And a couple key points. His cavalry enveloped on this right side, so it's come all the way down that right side of the map to my left. The infantry line is all over the place. My main cavalry has come back. You see, I think him baiting away a couple of my units here probably gave me just enough time and enough point cost that I survived this. We'll click the play because we can play this one there. And it is just now a case of battering the crap out of each other. But I think the overriding factor of this battle, I zoned control his cavalry out. My infantry was slightly better to give me that advantage. Not saying he didn't play amazing. He did amazing. I should have particularly lost this. But I was playing slightly smarter with my cavalry. And like I said, if you want to see the full video, check the playlist out. But I like to give you my overall thoughts of how I did. Because it's hard to portray that when I'm just playing the game and concentrate on the movement. But solid infantry, I like the Viking forces. I just love them. There's nothing wrong with them because they're just meaty. And here we go. There was the victory, the bells of victory. Let's make sure I'm not going to end this. Do I go on and have a look around? There we go. That's it, Mr. Yorke. Go on, sit, stop. Yeah, so there we go. Just absolute anarchy. We've turned all around. We came in this way. We've had to turn. We turned there. Let me just delete this. So we turned there and then ended up pushing the line to the left, and of course the fresh reserves that he pushed back. So it was a double-edged sword in my opinion. Baiting my units away kept the units alive, enough for them to make an impact on this left side to swing around. My cavalry did enough anti-cavalry tactics to annoy him as much, but he did get some good flanks, and we got some lucky breaks on his dismounted lancers in that game. So thank you very much for watching. It was a good game. I won my round 2, and we've got a couple of rounds coming up. I'm not going to spoil the fun because it gets even more bloodier in this this tournament. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, click that like, subscribe button, and come back for more Field of Glory tactical I don't know, tactical talk. I'm gonna have to think of a like a talk for it. Bye bye.